So how would you assess Gannon's day?
Wait, let me stick. I want to stick close and hear this. I want to stick close. Go ahead.
I was going to grade him.
Yeah,
I would say C.
That's not good enough, man. I know, like, C's get degrees, and
what
that's
do you mean?
passing.
What do you mean? You mean that half, 3/4 of your 3/4 of the salary cap they spent this year on defense? You're saying they're not good? Damn right, it's not good.
We are back. We are Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network, each and every day, noon Eastern to 3 hours of power. He is Barrett Brooks. He is Derek Gunn. I am Rob Ellis. We're talking about the Eagles' 38-35 win over the Lions in Week 1. Coming up at 2 o'clock, we're going to go through the entire league. Key injuries, upsets left and right, weirdness, all kinds of crazy games. Week 1 in the NFL. We'll dive into the NFC East also to take a look at what happened with Dallas, what happened with Washington, and my man Dayballs, because he has a pair. He does, Brian Dayballs. What he was able to do in that game and what they did. All right, so defensively, guys, let's start with this. Detroit ends up rushing on the day for 181 yards, more than 6.5 yards per carry, and 3 rushing touchdowns. Let's begin there. Why were they so effective with the ground game? In particular, DeAndre Swift, 15 rushes, 144. He averaged 9.6 yards per carry. Why were they so effective on the ground?
Well, start off, they were effective early. So we're talking about, what was it? Out of those 3 trap plays they ran, they probably had 70 yards, 80 yards. Just
51 on the one. Yeah.
51. Then they had one of like 14 and another one like another 12 or something like that.
Where is it here? You know me, I logged the game.
Yeah. So
always log the game.
The first 3 run plays were trap plays.
So the first run play was 51 yards, and then Williams ran for 7, and he ran again for 4, and then false start, go off the Huckett. Williams ran for 1, and then he ran it in for the touchdown. So and then Swift ran for 9. So the big plays on that drive were 51 and 9.
51, 9, 7.
7, 4, 4.
So
and then 1.
The big plays I know were trap plays. So we're
Yes.
saying right around 60, 70 yards around those 3 plays. So out of that, for the rest of the game, that's when they started, they have a couple other long runs on draw plays. They just found, they found holes in gaps in that defense trying to be so aggressive. So you just got to keep being aggressive. You just can't allow it to happen. You need more out of your D-line. The D-line needs to step it up. Because when you start blitzing, if you're not running specific run play blitzes, it's going to be hard, man. When they're pass plays, it's easier. You know what I'm saying? Because you're trying to get to the passer. But if they catch you, and that's what they were doing, they were catching them on obvious passing downs and getting guys up the field and then running right up underneath them. They just again,
that sounds like coaching to me, Barrett.
It is. You're absolutely right. It is coaching.
So how would you assess Gannon's day?
Wait, let me stick. I want to stick close and hear this. I want to stick close. Go ahead.
I was going to grade him.
Yeah,
I would say C.
That's not good enough, man. I know, like, C's get degrees, and
what
that's
do you mean?
passing.
What do you mean? You mean that half, 3/4 of your 3/4 of the salary cap they spent this year on defense? You're saying they're not good? Damn right, it's not good.
And you're down 2 guards at the 1 spot, and Ragnall's playing with a bad groin. On top of it,
the thing is, Detroit came back to the second half with the trap plays and still ran it down their throats. You didn't adjust. First of all, you have 4 mountains of men at the D tackle spot. Okay.
Yeah.
You've got a lot of money invested in Reddick, Graham, Sweat, Barnett on the edge.
Well, you got what, 6? So you got $6 million in Barnett. You got Fletcher Cox, you got $14 million. Hargraves, you got $11 million.
Sweat, we over $30 million already.
Sweat, you got another what, 10 million? That's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
That aren't. I mean, and BG is what, another 9 million, 8 million,
something like that. So you saw close to $40 million along that defensive line,
right?
That's ridiculous.
And you getting sucked into the trap every other play.
Yeah.
4 quarters. Now the first quarter, okay, I'll give you. Okay, because you haven't really seen them because it's the first game of the season. By the second half, when they're telling you, you know they're trapping. What are you guys talking about on the sideline over there?
Yeah.
As a defensive coordinator and the personnel playing the game, what are you guys talking about on the sideline? Are you looking up in the stands, looking at the people? What are you doing?
Hey, mom.
What are you doing?
Yeah, that's a lot of money, man. They allocated a lot of money to the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah,
man.
I mean, you think about the upgrades they make in the offseason. You get Hassan Reddick, you get Kaiser White, you get James Bradbury, you get Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. You draft Jordan Davis, you draft Kobe Dean. That's not a couple tweaks. That's 35 points to Detroit week 1.
When Marcus Epps is your leading tackler, that's a problem.
Yeah,
that's a problem.
It's a major problem.
Now, you can say the same thing for Detroit because Detroit's 2 leading tacklers were secondary personnel that had 13 and 9 tackles. Their secondary personnel combined had 22 tackles just on 2 guys. So that's a problem also. But your secondary should not be your leading tacklers.
How about 22 snaps for Jordan Davis sound about right? That's 32%. Or considering the way he played when he was in there, do we need to see more?
That's about right.
I thought he was pretty effective when he was in there. Now, I don't know if he can handle it stamina-wise. I don't know if they're protecting him from himself. That's the hard thing to judge with this.
No, it's not a hard thing to judge. You get your ass out there and play.
There we go. Here we go.
Barrett, I don't disagree. Get your ass out there and play, but I don't want him getting just rolled over too.
That's what we were talking about. You got to get yourself in game shape,
right?
And that's one of the things that we kind of talked about it a little bit
in August,
last week. You know what I'm saying? We talked about a little bit because we were talking about, well, are they going to be in shape enough because they didn't go through preseason? They didn't have a lot of reps. He didn't have clearly enough reps in preseason. I mean, just by example, my rookie, I played every single snap of the preseason to get me ready for the regular season because I was starting left tackle.
Yep.
He should have played every single rep possible to get in game shape, to get his speed ready to go. I mean, that's it. The bottom line, he's got to do it. Got to go.
I'm gonna go so far as to say Jordan Davis is going to play like 20 to 30 snaps every game.
Yeah.
Yes.
Only because of the people you have in front of him who have to justify that kind of money.
Fletcher Cox, Hargrave.
Yes. And you got to give Milton Williams his reps.
Yep.
He's on a rookie contract. He deserves to get his reps as well.
Yeah.
Jordan Davis, 22, 25 snaps. That's about right for him in his rookie year.
Mm-hmm.
It's about right.
Yeah. Well, look, I mean, here's the bottom line. I mean, you look at what went down in the second half and what were able to do, Detroit's offense I'm talking about here in the second half. And they, as I mentioned, they go on drives of 78, 75, and 72 yards, which resulted in touchdowns. Eagles are up by 17 in the third with 4.5 minutes to go. They're up, by that margin. Detroit converts 9 of 14 third downs. The rushing yard total is over 181. I mean, it was a frustrating day. It started off frustrating. Then you really looked at it and said, all right, they've settled in. They're going to be fine. And then after that, it was kind of like, oof, man, this has got to be better than this. And the weird thing is we thought going in defensive line, offensive line, that's the last thing you have to worry about. We're going to worry about, you're going to worry about Hurts and you're going to worry about whatever. How much on the defensive side is a lot of new faces?
Yeah,
well, that is a lot. That's a lot. That is a lot. But
they have no game reps together. It takes time for that to gel. We get that, but individual effort, I expected to see a little bit more than what we saw. Would you agree or disagree, Mr. Brooks?
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
There's a lot of. I don't know if you guys really peeped what I said. 3/4 of the salary cap has been given to the defensive side of the ball.
Because you have a cheap quarterback. You can,
right.
You can put a lot of money. Yeah. Yep.
So I mean, all right, you're really just essentially just paying
AJ.
AJ the new money. You know what I'm saying? That's the only really new money that you have on that side of the ball.
Well, they adjusted Lane, giving him more money up front.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but you're right. In terms of new money, the only one really is AJ.
Yes. But look at all the new money they spent on the other side.
Yes.
Riddick, White, Bradbury, CJ.
Yep.
That's a lot of money, man, allocated to just those guys.
Absolutely.
So they should play a lot better. Now, you asked the question that, that it probably does have a lot of validity to it. Have these guys played together long enough? And I'm saying the guys up front have.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? The D-line, they have.
Fair.
They played enough together.
Edwards
Even
in the
with
middle
Davis,
has.
Yeah. Even with Davis in the middle, that's D-line. You should be able to go in there, grip it and rip it. Let's go. I mean, the secondary, that's where you might have problems. But the secondary looked all right.
Yeah.
I'm having a problem.
You're right. The problem is the guys up front and the bulk of the snaps are Fletcher Cox, Javon Hargrave, whoever you want to throw in the end, Brandon or Josh Sweat, depending on how you utilize Reddick, that kind of thing. I mean, they're the guys who got the bulk of the snaps up front.
It's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous that those guys up front, the guys in which you can trust. Those you would think you could trust Hargrave, Fletcher Cox, Sweat, Graham to get pressure on the quarterback.
Right.
You could trust them. You got a newbie in Hassan Reddick where you really don't still know how to use him effectively. But he still didn't go out there and play up to my expectations, man. You didn't put him in a great enough position to be successful. I didn't see a lot of heat on him. Just like you said, Jared Goff was back there. He was patting
the ball. And then when the outside pressure came around, all he did was 1-2 steps up in the pocket, bought himself an extra second or two. That's all he did. He wasn't running. He wasn't running. Now I'm going to give. We have dissected this high-priced defensive line, and rightfully so. But I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt based on what Mr. Barrett has said before this game and even today. They're not in shape. Okay, yes. We understand that. They only had limited game reps in the preseason, which goes back to the argument of should you play your regulars more in the preseason? The fact that Detroit State, and a big part of the reason why Detroit stayed in this game, because Dan Campbell ran his guys through the mill in preseason. Yeah. Those boys are playing whole halves in the preseason. These guys play what, quarter maybe? Okay. So I'm going to give them that. Do not come out Monday night against Minnesota's offense playing the same kind of game you played against Detroit. Because, like I said, Tuesday, I'm going to lose it. If I see Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen waving hands like a like they're trying to fair catch a punt, running wide open in the middle of the field, I'm going to lose it.
Well, look, this is where Jonathan Gannon's got to show everybody, if he's that guy who should be interviewed by other teams and all that. And here's the other part. Let's not leave the head coach off the hook. I know he's an offensive mind, but he's got to recognize this kind of stuff too. And the point's got to be driven home that this defense, more than any other aspect, it was completely unacceptable in this game. The third down conversions, I mean, all of it. The passing game, and really as the game went on, they were effective in the pass game too. Like St. Brown, I thought really started to come on.
Yes, he did.
As this thing went on.
Yes, he did.
So for all those reasons,
because that quarterback had more than enough time to find him. Because in the first half, again, every time the Eagles sent pressure, those second, third, fourth series, Goff was throwing the ball behind his receivers, at the feet of his receivers, because he is known for buckling under pressure. When he's under pressure, he's not a runner. He's not a scrambler. He's not a great at sidestepping either. Okay. He's an in the pocket between the tackles passer. I would have sent a linebacker or a safety up the middle every time and even if I had to get home, just give him the thought. There's a possibility that one of those guys blitzing up the middle might slip up between my center and my guard. Yeah. And make him hurry his throw, which they did a great job of second, third, fourth series. Second half, man, they're back there trying to make Goff look like a Pro Bowler.
I know. So what do you think of the cause of that, though? To me, it has everything to do with not necessarily. Well, it is coaching because they're not. I don't think they're in good enough game shape to really do it. I mean,
you had the corners. You had the corners to stay with those particular receivers. Let them dudes play bump and run to make their quarterback pump the ball a little bit more. When it was clear as day in the second half, your vaunted four-man rush was not getting home. Send people from different angles. Disguise it. Detroit, I'm sitting there looking. Here comes, you see the safety creeping down on Detroit. You see a corner creeping down. You knew they were coming. Your quarterback sitting in the line of scrimmage, he sees them coming. and made him throw the ball away more than he should have.
Yeah, I mean, look,
all you got to do
flip it, jump the other side. I mean, we're going to see. I think Minnesota's going to send the house a lot too, and but the problem with that is Hurts' legs can kill you if that's the case. But I mean, he just escaped a couple of those, man. It was close.
Yes, he did.
Oh,
you talking about Eric Kendricks, Zadarius Smith, and Jordan Hicks.
Did you see the day that Jordan Hicks had?
Yes.
So,
yes.
I don't know. Like, this is a guy when he's healthy who's really effective, and I know sometimes tackles, can be misleading, but I don't know, for whatever reason, I was digging around in their box score yesterday. Jordan Hicks had 14 tackles and a sack.
Yes, he did. Wait.
Okay.
The linebacker had 14 tackles, right?
Yes.
Not the safety, not a corner. Linebacker.
Yep.
Which is the way it should be.
Yeah.
Linebacker should be your leading tacklers.
And that's on the Packers. So
how do you keep
Hurts clean?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard for me to try to comprehend what the guys.
Do you go into like more 12 personnel with Jack Stoll in there, who's a good blocker? Do you utilize Boston Scott in protection? From a back standpoint.
Yes.
More of that.
You got to have a running back who can step up and meet that pressure coming. You got to have, and Boston Scott is the best back that they
Goddard's a good pass blocker too.
Yes, he is.
Not like he isn't a good, but obviously, you want him out in patterns too.
Yes. I just don't see him doing that. I think they're going to try to beat it with the pass.
Ooh, okay.
And get him out of it. Throw him. You can throw defenses out of a blitz unit like that by completing pass, like hitting those slants and everything like that. So I don't know if they'll even blitz him as much as Detroit did, because they started beating them with the blitz, with the slant plays to AJ Brown, and they can't think that that they're going to continue to not hit Devontae and make him big in his offense. I mean, they can't think that that's going to happen. So when I look, you're right. I mean, Jordan Hicks, ball, man. I'm trying to see, how many did he have? Yeah, 14 tackles. He had 9. He had
9 solo,
5 assisted. Then my guy Harrison Smith, 5 solo.
He had a pick too.
Yeah, and a pick. Yeah. This is a really good fundamentally based defense. Jordan Hicks had a sack. Hunter had a sack. Zadarius Smith had a sack. Wonham had a sack. Damn.
Yeah, they showed up. And everybody's sort of just attributing that game to, the young receiver sucked for Rodgers. I mean, there was some of that. And what's his name? Watson dropped one that was, you can't throw it any better early. But it wasn't just that. Like, Minnesota's defense brought it in a big way in that game. That's for sure. So, all right, let's do this. Let's come back. We'll continue the Eagles talk, but let's dive into the NFL here, guys. And a lot of the big stories. And we'll start with 2 massive injuries that went down yesterday. One that really directly affects the Eagles. And we'll look at some of the timing of when that said individual might be back. But we'll get into the TJ Watt injury as well. So we'll dive into all that kind of stuff and some of the upsets, everything that went down week 1. And we'll continue with the Eagles talk as well. Don't go anywhere. Barrett Brooks, Derek Gunn. I am Rob Ellis. We're Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. All right, let's talk Razor Technology, because Razor Technology's comprehensive managed service provider solution delivers constant monitoring, on-demand assistance, and rapid use resolution. Through data vetted and insight-driven implementation, we strengthen your existing IT resources with both human power and expertise that reduces security risks and downtime while enhancing organizational efficiency and productivity. They are a strategic resource for adaptive and fast-growing companies that need help selecting, implementing, and managing their IT services. Our goal always is bigger than one project, one problem, or one upgrade. It's improving the overall functioning of our partners and helping them achieve their business objectives through ongoing synergistic relationship. Give your IT team the freedom to refocus by augmenting their reach with Razor Technology. Contact Razor Technology today to learn how our managed services can protect and enhance your business by calling 866-797-3282, 866-797-3282, or you could visit them online at razor-tech.com. That's razor-tech.com.